Hello, myself Ankita Sen. Welcome to my channel Nursing Sensation. Here you'll get informative videos, guidance, and essential tips for your nursing career and nursing education. In today's video, I'm going to discuss with you people regarding the fetal skull. So, as we all know, this is a human fetal skull. So, today we are going to discuss regarding this. Fetal skull is a bony compartment which forms the fetal head. We all know that, and this inside of this fetal head there are the vital organs which are very susceptible to get injury during the birth of the baby. So the formation of the fetal skull properly during the time of pregnancy throughout is very important. Fetal skull is made up of bony compartments. So there are bones which made the fetal skull, and that makes fetal head. And inside of this fetal head, there are the vital organs which are more susceptible to get injury during the birth. Fetal skull are mostly, to some extent, is compressible and is made up of some tubular flat bones. In today's video, I am going to discuss with you regarding the division of the fetal skull, the bones which form the fetal skull, the sutures which are present in the fetal skull, and the fontanelles which are present in the fetal skull, and lastly, the most important, the diameters of the fetal skull. And at the last, I'm going to give you a very simple way how to remember the diameters of the fetal skull easily for your exam and the competitive exam. So now I'm going to discuss regarding the division of the fetal skull. So there are mainly three divisions in the fetal skull. First is vault, second is face, and third is base. So first come to the vault. The vault is a large dome-shaped part above the imaginary line between the orbital ridges and the nape of neck. So this is a large part which is dome in shape. Now it is mainly the largest part of the head which typically first pass through the birth canal when the baby is getting born, and it is mainly developed of membranes. So this is all about the vault. Now come to the face. Hope you understand that the vault is start from the imaginary line between the orbital ridges to the nape of the neck. So this is the vault part. Now come to the face. So face is starting again from the imaginary line of the orbital ridges up to the neck and chin junction. It extends from the orbital ridges to the neck and chin junction. So this part is known as face. The most interesting part is that face is the smallest part of the fetal skull, though it is composed of 14 small bones which are firmly united and not compressible. So these bones are composed from the cartilage first and then fully ossified at the birth and fused and get formed. So this is about the face, the second division of the fetal skull. Now come to the third division of the fetal skull, that is the base. So this base is mainly 5 in number, and they also develop from the cartilage and fully ossified at the birth. Now these base are bones that are firmly united to protect the vital centers in the medulla oblongata inner down. So these are the three divisions of the fetal skull, that is vault, this part is vault, this is face, and this is the base. Hopefully you understood this much. Now come to the bones of the fetal skull. So bones of the fetal skull are mainly, there are, if I start from the back, so this is known as occipital bone. So this is one in number, single in number, and as you can see, this is triangular in shape. This is known as the orbital bones, and the most prominent part of this bone is known as the occipital eminence. Now come to the parietal bones. So these two are the parietal bones which are present aside, and these bones are two in numbers. Here also the prominent part of the parietal bones are known as a parietal eminence. Now come to the frontal bones. So these are two frontal bones which are present in front and divided by the sutures. That's why the frontal bones are two in number. Now come to the temporal bone. Here is one temporal bone and here is another temporal bone. So there are two temporal bones and the upper part of the temporal bone in a both side. So there are bones of the fetal skull, that is occipital bone, parietal bone, frontal bone, temporal bone, and the upper part of the temporal bone. Hopefully up to this much is very clear to you. Next, moving forward to the sutures of fetal skull. Sutures. What do you mean by sutures in the fetal skull? The sutures are the cranial joints forms where the two bones are made. So here you can see there are various bones which I have already discussed. So when these bones are coming together and try to get fused, that time we can see there are some sutures which are divided these bones. Okay, so starting from the back, as you can see, here is one suture line. So this is known as a lambdoidal suture. Lambdoidal suture is between the occipital bones and two parietal bones. So as I have already discussed, these are two parietal bones and this is occipital bones. So these lambdoidal sutures are dividing the occipital bones and two parietal bones. Moving forward to the sagittal suture. So this is the largest one, which is known as a sagittal suture, and which divided the two parietal bones. Now come to the coronal suture in a both side. So this is between frontal bones and parietal bones. So this is known as a coronal suture. Come to the frontal suture. This frontal suture is situated between two halves of frontal bones. This is known as a frontal suture. And another, the fifth one is the squamous suture. The squamous suture is separated the temporal and the parietal bones. So these you can see, this is known as a squamous suture, which divides the temporal and the parietal bones. So we have known that is lambdoid suture, 1 in number, sagittal suture, 1 in number, coronal suture, 1 in number, frontal suture, 1 in number, but squamous suture, as this is present in a both sides, this is 2 in number. Okay. These about the suture. Why the sutures are important? Because it allows the smooth movement of the bones over the other during head molding, which is significant as the head passes through the pelvis during the labor. And second one is the palpating the sagittal suture during the VE. So when we are doing the VE, that time if we palpate the sagittal suture, it's giving you an insight that head engaged or not. I mean the degree of internal rotation of the head and the molding. When we are doing the parvaginal examinations, if we touch the sagittal suture, we can understand where is the occiput or how is the presentation is inside and how much rotation of the fetal head has takes place, or if there is a molding present or not. I'm going to discuss with you about the molding. Please stay with me until. So moving forward to the fontanelles. Fontanelles means where two or more sutures are made and made the fontanelles. The sutures and the fontanelles described below permit a degree of overlapping of the skull bones during labor, which is known as molding. Okay. So first come to the fontanelles numbers. There are total 6 fontanelles in number, but only 2 have the clinical significance. What are the fontanelles? First, anterior fontanelle. Anterior fontanelle, also known as bregma, and there is posterior fontanelle, which is also known as a lambda. First, we will discuss about the anterior fontanelle. So, anterior fontanelle is the junction of sagittal suture, coronal suture and frontal suture. So, in the junction of these sutures, there is a kite or a diamond shape formation is getting formed, which is known as a bregma or the anterior fontanelle, and its diameter is 3 to 4 centimeter in long and 1.5 to 2 centimeter in is wide. Generally, it is closed at the 18 months of age of the baby. Pulsation of cerebral vessels we can feel through this fontanelle, as because this is getting close at the 18 months of the baby. If we put our fingers here, we can palpate the cerebral vessels. But if it is not ossified even after 2 years or 24 months, you have to remember this is something pathological which is not at all normal. Okay, so this is known as the anterior fontanelle or the bregma. Now come to the posterior fontanelle, which is also known as a lambda. So this is the junction of the lambdoidal suture and the sagittal suture, and it is the shape of this is almost triangular in shape. It is very small and it is looks like the Greek letter that is lambda. So the name came from this, that is lambda or the posterior fontanelle. Its diameter is almost 1.2 centimeter into 1.2 centimeter. It is closed by the 6 weeks of the age. So this is known as a posterior fontanelle or the lambda. Now come to the other 4 fontanelle which is not having any clinical significance. That is anterolateral fontanelle or the sphenoidal fontanelle. So this is 2 in number as because these are present in the both sides. This is known as a anterolateral fontanelle or the sphenoidal, which is 2 in number, and posterolateral or the mastoid fontanelle, which is 2 in number. This 4 is having no clinical significance, so we are not going to discuss regarding this in details. Now the area of the fetal skull. So there are 3 areas in the fetal skull in cephalic presentation. Here, the cephalic is the 95% of pregnant women is giving birth in a cephalic presentation. So here I am going to discuss regarding the cephalic presentation area division. So there are 3 areas. One is vertex, second one is brow, and third is face. So the vertex is starting from the nape of neck up to the anterior fontanelle. So this is known as vertex. This is the most common position in cephalic presentation when the baby is getting born through. So this is the vertex presentation which is very common. Next come to the brow. So brow is from the anterior fontanelle to the imaginary line of the orbital ridge. So this part is known as brow. Now come to the face. So this is starting in the orbital ridge, at the line of orbital ridge up to the nape of neck or the under the chin. So this is known as a face presentation. So in cephalic presentation, one is vertex presentation, one is brow presentation, and one is face presentation. So generally there are 3 presentation, but most common is the vertex presentation. Now come to the diameters of the fetal skull. So here I have divided the fetal skull diameter in a 3 part, that is posterior to anterior diameter, part 1. Second one is anterior to posterior diameter, and third are the transverse diameter. Next, the most important and exciting part of fetal skull, that is the diameter of the fetal skull, which is very important to know because the mechanism of labor and the birth process are mostly depend upon the diameters of the fetal skull. Here, I am going to give you the fetal skull diameters in a very simple way by a simple line. SOS, send SMS, please transfer some money. So, we will start the diameter from posterior to anterior first. So, first start with the SOS. First S, that is stand for suboccipitobregmatic. That means from the below of the occipital protuberance to the central of the bregma. So, from here to here, this is known as a suboccipitobregmatic, which is 9.5 centimeter. Second one is occipitofrontal, from the occipital protuberance to the glabella. Here is the glabella. Okay, from the occipital protuberance to the glabella, this diameter is known as the occipitofrontal. Okay, and this is 11.5 centimeter. And the third one is S, that is suboccipitofrontal, from occipital protuberance to the central of the frontal suture. Here is the central of the frontal suture. So, from the occipital protuberance to the central of the frontal suture. So, this is known as suboccipital frontal diameter, which is 10 centimeter in length. So, these 3 are from the posterior to anterior diameter of the fetal skull, which stands for SOS in short. Next, send SMS. SMS, again the 3 diameter which denotes from anterior to posterior. So first start with the SMS. First S. First S stand for the submentobrachmatic. SMB. Submentobrachmatis is the point where the chin joins to the neck from here. Okay, from the chin which joins to the neck from this part to the center or bregma, center of the bregma. So this part, this diameter, okay, here to center of bregma. This diameter is known as the submentobrachmatic, which is 9.5 centimeter. Next is mentovertical, which is from the chin to the farthest point of the vertex. So we all know that this is the vertex. So this is the farthest point of the vertex. So from chin to the farthest point of the vertex, this diameter is known as a mentovertical, that is 13.5 to 14 centimeter. Now come to the third, that is S. Okay, submentovertical, point where the chin joins to the neck to the to the highest point of the vertex. Okay, the point where the chin and neck joins to the highest point of the vertex. So this diameter, which is 11.5 centimeter, known as a submentovertical. So this is stand for SMS. So this is the diameter from anterior to posterior. So these are the 3 diameter. Now come to the transverse diameter of the fetal skull. So now start with the please. Please is starting with the P. So biparietal diameter. So this is 9.5 centimeter between two parietal eminence. So here you can see two parietal eminence. Okay. So distance between these two parietal eminence is known as the biparietal diameter, which is 9.5 centimeter. Now come to the T, transfer. The start with the T, bitemporal. That is the between the two farthest point of the coronal suture. I have already explained this is the coronal suture. The two farthest point of this coronal suture, this here to here. So this is known as a bitemporal, which is 8.2 centimeter in diameter. Okay, so this is the second one as a transverse diameter. The third one is some money. Okay, so S is stand for the super subparietal diameter, which is 8.5 centimeter in length. This is the point from the above parietal eminence to the opposite of the below the parietal eminence. So it is start from the above of one side parietal eminence to the opposite side below parietal eminence. Okay, so this is 8.5 centimeter, that is super subparietal diameter. Now come to the money, M for bimastoid diameter, which is 7.5 centimeter. This is the distance between the mastoid process of temporal bone. So this is the mastoid process of temporal bone. So distance between this mastoid process of two temporal bone, this is 7.5 centimeter, known as a bimastoid diameter, and which is the shortest or the smallest diameter of the fetal skull. So these are the diameters of the fetal skull, which is very shortly described by the SOS, send SMS, please transfer some money. Hopefully these tricks of this line will be useful for you to remember the diameters of the fetal skull. If you find it was very helpful for you, please like, share and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon to get the notification of my next video. Thank you.